Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Siju, and I'm an owner of the 2014 Subaru Forester, and I replaced my car stereo, and I wanted to make a video on that because I've been looking all over the internet to find a guide or a video that would help me to make this process a little easier. Could not find anything, so I did my research a little bit, scavenging through the internet, and based this project based on an old video of a guy who did replace the stereo on a 2014 Subaru Legacy or Impreza or something, which I cannot remember what it is now. So before you start watching the video, I just wanted to tell you that I have already installed everything, so I would not be able to actually show you how did I install the stereo, but I can explain how did I do that. So if you are trying to change your Subaru stereo, it would be a little bit of help for you, and also I would be able to answer some of your questions in the comments, like if you are planning about replacing the stereo. But please do remember, I'm not the expert, and nor am I a professional. So you gotta consider that before you watch this video. So basically what I did was that even before I did anything, I disconnected the battery to make sure that I don't accidentally trigger the airbag or anything. Then I changed the speakers along with the stereo. So I replaced the tweeters with a pair of Polk tweeters, DB 1001. That is the tweeter I used. That was fairly an easy installation. So I pried out this mesh speaker grill here, and there were two screws underneath the grill that actually really held the factory tweeter to the car. So I unscrewed those two screws, and I took out and replaced that tweeter with a Polk tweeter, and I popped it back, and what a difference, in terms of image, stereo imaging, and clarity, and all that. And also it lifted the stereo image way up. Now the sound feels like coming from the windshield as opposed to coming from somewhere here. So that was a really good upgrade that I did to my 2014 Forester. But in the meantime, I know that many people don't recommend these tweeter locations, but to me it's great, and I didn't want to install it anywhere else. I wanted everything to look as it was factory installed. So that is the reason I'm happy with whatever I have. Then now coming back to the stereo. So the stereo that came out from here was, as you can see, this is the aftermarket stereo. The factory stereo was the non-navigational model with the tiny little dot matrix display here, and I think it is a Clarion U64 UM or something. I don't know, I don't remember the model number now. So what you require for installing the stereo is that you obviously need a pry tool. You need this this bracket in order to install the aftermarket stereo. You can buy it from Amazon or eBay. I think Metra make those adapters, but I have actually wrapped with some carbon fiber vinyl. That's the reason it looks a little different, but it looks great in my car, because I didn't like the dull look of that bracket when I bought it. So I just wrapped it, and it looks great. So then you need your wire harness. So that is where things get tricky. If you just need your stereo to work, you can buy the standard wire harness. I think it's a Nissan blah blah. I don't remember the model now. But when you buy that wire harness, what's going to happen is that this here, the steering wheel controls are not going to work. In order for that to work, you need to have a special wire harness, which if you research enough in the internet, there are a couple of guys who make those wire harness, but it's a pain to get those, because there aren't a lot of people out there who makes them, and also they are expensive even if they make them. So what I did was that in order for you to get this steering wheel control to work, as many of you know, this doesn't communicate with this, because they both speak different languages in terms of electrical connection or whatever. So you need a Metra AWC something adapter, and also even if you have that, you have to program that because it's a universal device. Then like the wire harness, like I said, it needs to be special. So I bought two of those standard wire harnesses, and if you look at those wire harnesses, you can see that there are a lot of vacant area. There are areas without any pins, like there are a lot of blank area. So I just pulled out the specific pins that controls the steering wheel from one of those harness, and I just put that into the other harness to make it work, so that I have all the pins that I need in order for this to communicate with this. You can try that. So let's I'll tell you how did I open this area here. So I took my pry tool and I have started prying from this upper corner here, not on top. You have to kind of put your pry tool here and start prying. Then there will be a gap, this will pop out. Then you have to slowly pry around this without breaking this delicate part here. Slowly pry it out, and then you should be good. Then do remember that you have a wire harness here for your parking brake, and also the wiring harness that connects the wiring with your factory stereo. You have to disconnect that, and then there is another harness here that connect with the AC controls. Now many of the folks in the internet said that there is a chain mechanism or lever mechanism or something that controls the AC, and that connects with the AC mechanism, and you have